Very good morning and welcome to the Market Opening Show, viewers. This is the collab show between Business Today and India Today Television. I'm Sakshi. It's 9 a.m. already and we are here to get you all the opening action. But first up, let's take a look at what's hot in the corporate and the financial space. Yet another massive deal centered around AI and NVIDIA GPUs. Amazon has signed a $38 billion deal to power OpenAI's computing power needs with NVIDIA systems. Comes just days after it fired 14,000 corporate employees. OpenAI says it is committed to spending a mind-boggling $1.4 trillion on AI infrastructure. Amazon stock hits an all-time high after its OpenAI deal. It has driven the Wall Street in the US higher on a tide of tech exuberance. Asian stocks, although, are down on fears of overvaluation. Tokyo stocks also under pressure as Japan's manufacturing activity in October shrinks at the fastest pace in 19 months. Budget stockbroking platform Grow tests its own strength in the market. IPO opens for subscription today with a price band of 95 to 100 rupees a share. Massive institutional interest with its anchor book of around 3,000 crores, attracting bids of 50,000 crore rupees. Another big IPO, that of Lenskart, is set to see the closing of its IPO subscription today. It's a big results day today, with blue chip names like State Bank of India, Mahindra & Mahindra, Adani Enterprises, Adani Ports, Indigo and Paytm all set to unveil their Q2 results. The market will be watching for surprises and for guidance ahead. India's crude oil imports climbed 3% in October, with Russia holding its spot at the top supplier space, looking at accounts for more than a hefty 34% a share. Now remember, this is also with fresh US sanctions looming large. Refiners are trading carefully also with crude oil imports from the US now hitting a 54-month high as well. But Russian flows are unlikely to stop entirely. Very good morning to all our viewers. Let's quickly see how the setup is looking like in the morning trading action. It's 9:08 and the markets have settled in the pre-open space. The Nifty hovering slightly below the flat line at this point. 25,744 is the level at which the Nifty is indicative of its opening at 9:15 a.m. today. There could be a divided action as far as the sectors are concerned. You could be seeing infrastructure, pharma stocks and even the broader markets tick higher. Continuation of positive action even on the PSU banking space, realty and FMCG. But on the downside, you could again see IT and large financial services spaces. Even the private banks and the autos also start to lag a bit. Now, there could be a lot of stocks that will be in focus in terms of news flows and the brokerage houses updates as well. Bharti Airtel, JSW Steel, Adani Enterprises, Eicher Motors are indicative of a positive start today too. But let's also look at how the sentiment is on the PSU space. We could also be seeing some PSU stocks, including the banking names like SBI, move up in action right ahead of its earnings. Of course, we will also be looking at Paytm from the new age tech basket that could also be in focus ahead of its numbers as well. Big day for earnings, both for large caps and from the auto space. We have M&M also that could be in focus as well. But let me straight away go across to editor for markets, Shell Bhatnagar, right here with us. Shell, good morning to you. How are you looking at this earnings heavy day and what does it bring for the investors today in the markets?
I think, Sakshi, the most important thing is we have the weekly expiry of the Nifty. 25,840, 25,825 is a region of support. And beyond that, let's see how the market moves up. But 18 points lower as far as the opening quote is concerned, 25,744. Pretty much the rest has been covered by you. So we'll move forward.
There's also, Shell, the other factor that I wanted to ask you. This morning, we are given to understand as far as the NSE circular is concerned on the F&O space in the pre-open session as well. Starting December 8, we could be also seeing some pre-open action in that space. How do you see that makes a difference for especially the traders in the F&O basket, Shell?
I think that's more to do with price discovery and better understanding of the market in the first 5, 7, 8 minutes of trade. That is something which is very welcome as far as traders is concerned, because it gives you an idea about how your stock future, in particular options, are going to move. Remember, yesterday Maruti collapsed 3.5% till later in the day, but for those who had purchased puts on Friday, it was a win-win day. So you get an early warning or an early indication of how futures and how options just might start to move by 9:15. Sakshi.
Okay. The National Stock Exchange viewers has announced that the pre-open session will now be also held for futures and options, just like how Shell has pointed out, starting December 8. The pre-open session, just like for the cash market, will start at 9 a.m. to 9:15 a.m. as well. Now, we'll also have to really look at as to what is the kind of F&O traders' response to this, and also whether this will be extended to the BSE as well. That's another one that we have to keep an eye out on as well. Shell, any top stocks that you're watching out for the session today? What should investors be keeping a keen eye out on?
Sakshi, Pharma will come up in a strong show. Mid caps and small caps in terms of sectoral rotation of money will also come up on the fore. Reliance is looking very good on charts, and of course you have a strong move coming into the entire PSU banking basket. So keep an eye out on Canara Bank in particular. BOB looks very strong, and of course a lot of charts pointing out to strength in defense counters and digital space. So these are the 3 or 4 areas where a lot of long side trades in the cash market would be working. Sakshi.
Okay, let me also just highlight a basket of stocks that all our viewers should be keeping an eye out on, that stocks are in the news today as well. TVS Motor from the auto space will be in focus. Remember, the company has bought 2.9 million shares in TVS Credit Services for 1.72 billion rupees, strengthening the financial arm, and therefore the stock could be well in focus. Reliance Infra, however, could be in focus because of negative reasons. Here, the ED, or the Enforcement Directorate, has frozen the assets under PMLA. Remember, the company has said no impact on the operations, and Anil Ambani is not on board for the next 3.5 years. Keep that stock in focus too. Adani Power, on the other hand, will also be in focus. Remember, the dispute with Bangladesh Power Board over cost of billing continues, and there is a regular supply and payments that also continue on the other hand as well. Titan is going to be in focus because of the earnings that were reported post the market hours yesterday, so that stock could be reacting to its numbers. The Q2 profit after tax is at 1,006 odd crore rupees. This is versus 705 crore rupees the company had reported in the last quarter of the last year as well. Now, when we look at the entire growth parameters, they've been pretty strong, but there has been a slight miss on the estimates of Titan earnings. Also, the company is going to be in focus because of the margins that have improved to 11.2% as well. So that's also clearly in focus. All right, let me also now go across to Devarsh Vakil, Deputy Head of Retail Research at HDFC Securities, who's now joining in to share with us his views on the markets. Devarsh, how are you looking at the earnings season that's now also going to get into the fag end? We have the next 10 days now as far as the earnings are concerned. What has stood out for you in terms of any kind of earnings upgrade? Very quickly, if you could, Mark. All right, we have the markets open first, Devarsh. Let me just come across to you in just a moment and look at how the markets are opening at this point in time. 25,753 is what we have. Slightly lower as far as the Nifty is concerned. Viewers, we have a mixed trade as far as the sectors are concerned. Infra, Pharma, and even the mid-caps that are up in trade, just like how Shell was pointing out. Pharma, mid-caps, both are in focus on the positive end. Let's look at, however, the sectors that are lower. IT, banks, financial services, private banks, autos. These are the sectors that are still lower in trade. Top movers on the Nifty, you have Bharti Airtel, you have JSW Steel, Adani Enterprises and Adani Ports also hovering higher in trade. Although the gains are limited, you can see a 0.5% higher to about 1.5% uptick that we are seeing there. On the losing side, you have Coal India, Tata Consumer Products, Power Grid, Maruti Suzuki and ONGC at the open right there. Any big flies that we are seeing as far as the Nifty 500 basket is concerned? Not so much right at the open, but we'll come back to it shortly. Let me quickly go back to Devash. Devash, your sense on the market opening today, and of course, what are you watching out for in the earnings momentum?
Right. Thank you, first of all, for having me on the show. So, as you asked, the earnings season has been, as per our expectation, little above our expectation. The overall earning growth has been driven by the oil and gas, especially the oil marketing companies, where there is a huge YOY growth, technology selectively, cement, capital goods, and metals. These five sectors have contributed almost bulk of almost 90% of the incremental YOY accretion in the earnings. Overall, this season has been, as per our expectation, little above our expectation. And now the FY26 aggregate Nifty earnings have been upgraded to around 1100 rupees per share. So that makes us trading at around 23 times forward 1 year earning, and 27 is around 1200 also. So I think we are on track to deliver a good earning season this time.
All right, in a big breaking news, viewers, remember Prime Minister Narendra Modi has met top exporters from the labor-intensive sectors like apparel, gems and seafood to also discuss the impact of US tariffs. Senior ministers including Nirmala Sitharaman and Piyush Goyal have joined the discussions aimed at boosting India's global trade edge. Remember, heads of export promotion councils have also attended the meeting. The government is also expected to release a package for exporters if a trade deal with the US is not signed soon. Surbhi, who's covering our economy space in the business today, is now with us with more details on that breaking update. Surbhi, good morning to you. Good to have you with us. This seems like a big relief that could be on the way for exporters amidst all that uncertainty on the trade talks. What exactly are you finding out from your sources? What has this meeting really brought about?
Yes, good morning. So exports have been very much on the agenda of the government, and an export promotion mission is being finalized. It is likely to be approved by the cabinet sometime this month is what we are getting to here, and it's going to provide a lot of support in terms of interest, subsidy and incentives to the exporters. The government's also working on, the trade deal with the US, but given the complexities around it, it's been long in the making, and we're still not sure when it's going to happen. All the signals from both sides show that it's definitely going to happen. But in the interim, exports to the US have fallen significantly, while overall trade, overall exports had grown till last month, September. When you look at the US, which is the largest market, exports have fallen by about over 37% between May and September. And a lot of exporters have been saying that either they've stopped getting orders or they have to give extra discounts to continue getting at least some amount of orders. So there's a lot of labor-intensive sectors are also where we have a lot of employment, MSME. So the trickle-down impact on the economy is going to be huge. And that's why this continues to be a key focus area of the government. Several ministers in the Prime Minister has exportations.
All right, okay. Surbhi, thanks a lot for that. Meanwhile, viewers, remember, as far as the oil imports are concerned, Russia continues to be India's largest source of crude oil, despite the US sanctions and tariffs. And according to global trade analytics firm Kepler, we are given to understand that Russia has shipped around 1.62 million barrels per day already in October, accounting for nearly 34% of India's total imports. However, imports from the United States have also seen a sharp surge, climbing to 5,68,000 barrels per day. This is the highest since March of 2021 that we are given to understand. Now, US crude also accounts for 12% of India's total imports. As you all know, remember, Iraq was the second largest crude oil supplier to India, with Saudi Arabia now at number 3. However, a further upside in the US crude inflows is also seen as limited as freight costs, longer voyage times and WTI's lighter yield make it less competitive and also beyond the current arbitrage windows as well. Refiners, meanwhile, are expected to exercise greater caution on Russian grades, while a complete halt in Russian imports is also seeming unlikely at this point in time. Kepler also expects a dip in the month of December. Let's go across to our guest now, Devarsh, to get an overall sense as to what's happening on the trade front. Devarsh, quickly help us understand when it comes to the entire trade uncertainty that still looms pretty large at this point in time. Exporters are still hoping for that big relief package from the government. You just heard Surbi talk about it too. And of course, at the same time, the sticky issues of Russian oil, they continue to show that at least Russian oil and the imports from there continue to be at the top spot for India amidst all of this.
Right. So yes, there are external headwinds, as you mentioned. We gradually will diversify our oil imports as we have started taking account the expectations from the US administration and I think the mutually agreeable trade deal with US will require that the India will diversify its uh, resolution will require that the trade negotiation will require that we diversify our oil imports, and that should actually eliminate a lot of policy uncertainty on the export sides. As you mentioned, the labor-intensive sectors are actually reeling under the higher US tariffs. Once we have the acceptable resolution with the US, I think that will remove the policy uncertainty. That will also restore the FI confidence. The stronger Q2 earnings that is happening right now, I think that is likely to support our market. See, domestically we have a resilient economy. The agriculture side is robust. We had a good monsoon, the kharif sowing, and the adequate reservoir level that leads to good rural demand. And I think the urban side also will help because of the RBI's rate cut and the GST rationalization. So I think overall we are expected to have a good earning season and the rest of the season financial year this year.
Right. Shell, let me bring you in here as well. When it comes to the export-oriented sector, this entire year we have actually seen a lot of volatility on the export-oriented sectors and underperformance on large ones like the IT as well. How is the performance expected from here on? What are you seeing currently on the charts as well on the export-oriented sectors? Because the uncertainty still looms large on the trade front. We are not sure whether we are going to be coming in closer anytime soon for a trade deal.
I think, Sakshi, we'll just have to wait for the deal to be signed. Every single day, every single week, this deal has been talked about. Nothing happens. So once it happens, we'll again revisit the charts and take a look. Two stocks, of course, come to mind. One is Gokaldas Exports and, of course, the other being Himmat Singh Seede. Both these stocks are great textile plays and have a strong overseas earning component, especially from the US. Let us see how it goes. For the last 6 months, every single night, this trade deal has to be announced. It never happens. Once it does, we'll take a look again.
Fantastic. Okay. You know, the other talking point is all about the opportunities beyond the secondary market as well. The IPO space and the rush there continues too. Devarsh, are you also looking with a close eye at all these IPOs that are being launched? I mean, we have 3 already in this week. Lenskart IPO will close today for subscription. Grow IPO opens, and then we have Pine Labs as well. Any one that actually has stood out for your attention?
So we are not allowed to speak on IPOs as we are involved in a lot of banking side on this. But overall, I would comment that there are opportunities in the new age sectors where the sustainable growth runway is very high. So beyond the listing, once the prices settle down, I think we can have a look at it, especially in the non-lending financial side. Some of the companies which are coming have a huge runaway ahead. So I'd look at them post-listing once couple of quarter results are in and once the valuations are little more senior than what they are coming right now.
Okay, got that. Since you did talk about the new age tech space, Paytm is going to be coming out with the results today. What's your big expectation there?
So again, I'm not allowed to speak on specifically on these stocks, but I think these companies have now shown path to profitability. A lot of platform companies have now shown that they can also use their operating levers to show the path to profitability. So I think there is a room for investors to have certain portion of their portfolio into these new age companies, which traditionally was not finding space there. So I think it is time to relocate all these platform companies very vigorously.
All right, we're running out of time now. Thank you so much, Devarsh. Thank you, Shell, for joining in and for, of course, sharing all those information and insights on the markets. With that, it's a wrap on the Business Today show right here. But at 3 p.m., do tune in at the market closing show on India Today. I'll be back for that.